Hey, Taylor.
Hey there.
Ahmad, how are you?
I'm good. How are you? It's a pleasure to be here. I'm a little nervous, I'm not gonna lie.
Just sit back and relax and listen to some of these other guys. They've been doing it a while.
All righty. Sounds good. That's what I'm here for.
Taylor, where are you from?
I'm from Sugar Grove, Illinois. Just breaking into real estate here. My uncle's been investing in California for a long time. I think he got in at San Jose, and yeah, so he kind of got me into it. And so I'm just really trying to, since COVID happened, I've been really trying to take advantage of it and using the time I have to really, I guess that forced me to learn about it, and I got just really excited once I kept learning more about it.
Excellent. Well, welcome.
How about you?
I live in Western North Carolina.
Nice. Okay, cool.
So, Taylor, is your dad, are you from California originally?
No, I've been born and raised out here in the cornfields.
Okay. So, but your dad, is he in California or he just likes
No,
to invest out there?
yeah, it's actually my uncle, and he used to live out in California. He had, I can't remember the specific job. He worked for AT&T a long time ago. He lived out there, and he did like the rich dad, poor dad thing, bought some properties, and then he moved back home because he just wanted to assist with my grandparents. And so he's been doing that ever since and hasn't had to work. And I love that.
It's definitely passive income and making your money work harder than you do are the two of
Yeah,
the best things in the world.
yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Well, it's 6 after, so it looks like we might have a small crowd today. I don't know if that's due to being a Sunday and, everybody still in church mode
Hey,
getting ready for the football game. But
hey, Jim.
so, Ahmad, are you guys, do you watch football? Are you a Lions
I
fan?
yeah, I try to watch when I can. I used to be a 49ers fan, and then I was in Canada, and so they used to show the 49ers back when they were winning, and they stopped showing them. So I kind of was like, what do I watch now? So I kind of just like to watch good football rather than a specific team. I like the Patriots before Brady, so like to follow Brady around right now, watch Buccaneers. That looks like it's going to be an exciting team as further we go along. So,
Yeah, I agree. I enjoy a good game no matter who's playing, but
yeah,
I find it harder and harder to watch. I used to be a rabid fan. I'd watch every
right.
game. My Sundays were
Yeah,
reserved for
I,
watching football,
yeah,
but
football, hockey, I watch avidly, and then got into doing some other things, got married, had kids. Now it's just sports, unfortunately, took a backseat.
yeah, yeah, I agree. Now I'm lucky if I can see a Bears game, to be honest with you. But if we don't have very many more participants, we're going to get to spend a lot more time with each other. We probably uh, will change up the format just a little bit. I was going to have everyone just do a brief introduction, and let's see here. Yeah, and keep it to 15 seconds or less. But since there's just a few of us, if anyone wants to have a chance for the selfless promotion, any deals that you're working on or any challenges that you have right now or something that you're looking for in regard to partnerships or capital or or whatever. So right now, I'll tell everyone that doesn't already know that I haven't already said this too, that uh, during this COVID economic times, I've decided to refocus what I'm doing, the assets that I'm currently looking for. So for the next 6 to 18 months, I think that my main focus is going to be helping newer investors that are struggling to get their first deal done, or haven't gotten their first deal, or don't even know where to start. So I'm offering free coaching for anyone that needs it, and also offering sponsorship. So if you need a sponsor, or if you need someone on your deal because you don't have enough net worth or liquidity, then definitely reach out to me. And I'm going to call by name based upon what I'm seeing on my screen. So Brian, do you want to go next? And
Sure.
Also where you're from. I'm from Chicago.
I'm from Chicago too. I'm actually based in Hyde Park. And so what I'm actually doing now is setting up together a private equity fund, trying to invest in Class BC assets, multifamily, looking in between 20 to maybe even 90 units. I've been underwriting deals. I've actually been in contact with you, Jim, regarding the underwriting. And looking at Phoenix. Let me see. I did one underwriting in a suburb in Dallas, and but I'm mainly focused around the Chicago market as of right now, and particularly the suburbs. But that's what I'm doing now, and what I expect to get out of this is just to know more about who's here and what are ways that we can actually work to help each other's out on either the deals or just for professional development.
Okay. And Taylor, you're showing up next on my screen. I know you gave a quick intro, but we had, I don't know if Cindy and Jeff heard you. So.
Yeah. Well, my name's Taylor. I'm from Chicago area, about 45 minutes out. It's a small village called Sugar Grove. Really hoping to break into multifamily here. I'm basically sky's the limit for me. Feel like I have the whole world at my front door right now. I haven't done a single deal, so I am really just trying to sponge as much information, network, and just learning the fundamentals most importantly. But at the same time, trying to be as proactive as I can. I also I hate sitting on ideas a long time, because then I just start beating myself up too much. So yeah, I was originally getting started with like duplexes, fourplexes, and as I kind of started listening to Bigger Pockets and episodes relating to commercial, I got really fascinated with that. It's very daunting, but I think it's very doable, especially with resources like Jim here. So I'm very excited to be taking steps here. And
now you've got, it sounds like to me you might have a great mentor right in your own backyard, or, you said your uncle has invested in some properties. Did he invest mostly in single family, multifamily, commercial, or what did he invest in out in California?
He's doing Section 8 multifamily in California. And he also has some out in Massachusetts with my aunt. That's a commercial, that's a sixplex. And I don't know as much information on that. I know he is entitled to like 2 units of that. He was kind of helping her get her foot in the door in that realm. So yeah, but he's also not the greatest resource. He does have schizophrenia, and he can be very negative. So sometimes he's a wild card, but he's been very helpful thus far. He's great. He's a loving guy, so yeah, I'm very happy to have him available.
Well, fantastic. So, if nothing more, the first people we go to when we start investing and we need some capital or credit is friends and family. So,
absolutely.
The fact that you already have someone in the family who is doing this, it makes it a lot easier for them to invest with you, because they already understand the asset and understand the investment. So that's a great opportunity. And the more you learn, you might even offer to help him take some of the management and asset management off his plate.
Right on. So, yeah.
Fantastic. So also, if he's interested in looking for other deals and doesn't know where to find them and wants to invest as a general partner or an LP or a KP, you'll have a lot more information that you'll be able to pass on to him. You know, if you stay engaged with the group. So.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, great. Chuck, if you could unmute yourself and introduce yourself, please.
Yes. Hello, everybody. And hi, Jim. Thank you for, I'll make myself visible there if you can see me. Yeah, Jim, thanks for making yourself available as a resource. I did some flipping with a partner, a friend of mine. We did about 5 and had some mixed results. Learned a lot, and I feel kind of mainly just went sideways, sort of monetarily, with all the ups and downs and learning. So this year I've done single family, a couple places out in Chicago. I'm from Chicago. I got a Sox hat, but I root for both teams because I love baseball. But yeah, Chicago Heights, I did a couple properties earlier this year. I was planning on growing aggressively in single family, but got concerned about the COVID situation, people losing jobs, and trying to ramp up in the middle of a lot of uncertainty. So I ended up selling one of the Chicago Heights places, and I kept one that was such a good deal that, and I had a good renter sort of drop in my lap. So that's where I am now. And I just kept looking and learning, I'm seeing that the multifamily, I guess I'd read some stuff early on and made me think that multifamily I'd sort of need more like years of experience. And then I was reading some things that were made me think like maybe I should start, trying to get into it now. So I'm actually going around some areas on the south side, looking at the, maybe 8 flats, 12 flats, and just, trying to figure out what's going on. I have some financing capabilities, but absolutely looking to network, looking to partner, be mentored. So yeah, anyway, so again, thanks. Good to meet everybody, and hope to meet some of you in person soon.
So Cindy, if you would unmute yourself and do an introduction. And by the way, Cindy, Brian Briscoe is looking for some women in real estate and to get on his podcast. So I think you should reach out to him.
Thank you, Jim. Actually, he did reach out to me. I have to get back to him. That's on my list of things. Something I feel fit to do because I guess I would be an aspiring investor in terms of multifamily because the biggest unit we have is a 5-unit. So we've been,
I think more than anything, Cindy,
actively investing.
Yeah, if you laid out what your vision is and your goals and your plans, I think that you have a lot to offer for the podcast. Just, based on our conversations, I think that you would make a great podcast guest right where you are right now, because so many people don't know how to just get started. They don't even have a plan. So I would encourage you. Huh?
I've actually, in the last week and a half, I've been a guest 3 times. And it was my first time being out and all coming out of the woodworks. I'm like, I didn't know I had value to offer, but here I am. So
Cindy, where are you located? Yes, where are you located?
Yeah, of course. So we live in Central Texas, but we're originally from upstate New York, which is also where we invest. We have been actively investing for 18 months. We have 4 properties, 11 units total, literally everything from a single family to 5-plex. And we have also significantly renovated them from even over 1,600 miles away. So to add in terms of the investor, yeah, next year or so to maybe transition into being a GP or an LP. So right now I'm just learning and networking and working our smaller scale business so that we can investing side of real estate.
Okay, are you looking for any partners or JV or LPs or KPs, anything like that?
Not specifically. I mean, in terms of networking, I am getting to know people, and I really have to know somebody if we're going to partner, because right now it's just my husband and I, and we've been doing well, but there is need for gap funding, you know, at times with the current investments we have. So if the opportunity arises, it's definitely something we would consider. Yeah, I mean, mostly just learning and networking, and if I have any value to add, I'd be happy to.
Okay, great. Also, everyone, if you're not connected to everyone in the group, type in the chat your contact information. You know, I would encourage you to put your LinkedIn profile link on there so that everyone can connect with you. And let's see, who do we have next?
Awesome. Jim, if I may, I just wanted to let you know I'm traveling to Houston right now. My service is spotty, so I might be in and out.
Okay, well that explains your audio is in and out, so fantastic. We're happy to have you here.
Oh no, I'm so sorry.
That's okay. It's been 99% good.
I literally pulled over.
That's okay. So
okay,
we're just happy to have you on board. Okay, so hold on.
Awesome, thank
Bear
you.
with me a little bit here. Okay, Ahmad, if you could unmute yourself and introduce.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, my name is Hamad. I'm based out of Detroit, but I am Canadian. I've been in Detroit for the past year. I'm actually currently sitting in Canada. I'm at a 2-day conference on infill developments. So I used to come here to join that. That got kind of postponed since March due to COVID. So I've been in Canada for the last 3 weeks. I'm heading back to Detroit tomorrow. And yeah, so like in Canada, I was doing some single family conversions to legal duplexes. So I enjoy the construction side of things, but moving to Detroit, I was still doing my full-time job and kind of just looking at what I wanted to do. In real estate, I knew I wanted to quit my job and focus on real estate. Being in Detroit, I don't really like the market, not even for flipping. So I kind of explored what I wanted to do, and you know, came across multifamily, and for me, just everything makes sense with scale and you know, all the aspects of it being, you know, a proper business as well. So I've just been focusing on building my business right now. You know, I'm definitely open to partnership, but similar to Cindy, you know, it's just it has to be the right partnership. So yeah, just looking to network as much as possible, build my team out. And then, you know, I'm focused on primarily Austin, Texas market, but I'm also looking at some deals if I, you know, due to the networking I'm doing in like Florida, Carolinas, and other parts of Texas as well. And, you know, and last time we talked, Jim, one of the other things was like, what's in your backyard? And I'm not comfortable with Detroit at all. Just there's nothing there that I like that would give me enough confidence to, you know, Ann Arbor was the only market there that was kind of decent, and because it's, you know, university based, and even that's taken a hit. So I'm starting to look into see maybe like something driving range in Ohio, looking at a couple of markets there. Just need to do some research, you know, Indiana, etc. So looking to see if I can find something in my backyard as well for now, just so it's proximity is closer. But yeah.
Okay, fantastic.
I actually think Ohio, Columbus area. I was reading also that around that area, the suburbs of Columbus is a good market, as well as Indianapolis.
Yeah, there was it was either Columbus or Cincinnati. I can't remember which one, but one of the two, especially during recessions, more people moved to that city within Ohio. I just have to look that up again, whether if it was Cincinnati or Columbus, but one of the two cities. That was, positive side for me for Ohio. If you have, population growth and job growth, two key metrics.
But both are college towns, though, because
Yeah.
Columbus has Ohio State and
Okay.
Cincinnati has University of Cincy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I think Ohio State though is student population is probably double or triple Cincinnati, isn't it, Brian?
yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
So if that's part of your, even if you're not planning on doing student housing, when you're in a major university town, there's still a lot of opportunity for just because the jobs that are created by the university and
Right.
renting out to people that work there or that are affiliated with the university. So yeah, that can be a big employment draw. Not to mention if it's a really big university, and both of those are major universities, a lot of times large corporations want to be close to them also. So a lot of times if you get in those type of towns, you'll find that you have a very diversified employment base. Not always, you can look at Bloomington, and because it's in a small town, even though it's a major university, it doesn't have the same type of employment base that Columbus would have, or even Cincinnati.
Yeah. So, to your point, one of the reasons I said I like Austin is, it's a university town. There's government there. There's medical there. It's the most diversified economy for any market that I've come across so far, and that's why I like it. Job growth is good there, population growth, and it'll keep increasing. And you have a lot of tech from California moving out there as well.
Yeah, there's only one possible negative. You could have the old Ben Franklin where you do two columns and list the positives and the negatives.
Right.
And Austin checks off every box. I mean, literally every box. And the only negative you could possibly bring up for Austin is it's super competitive and prices are high. But are they that much higher than anywhere else? Not really. They're high, yes. You got to pay to get in that market, but you don't pay San Francisco prices.
Yeah.
And it ticks off every box.
Yeah.
And
So
I know that people in Texas, most of the people that I know there are not investing in Austin because they're looking for a better deal. But you can't go wrong, especially in troubled times.
Yeah, and there's potential for the mom and pops there. Definitely, you have a lot of institutions and larger syndicators going for like the 150 plus units, etc. But there's a lot of potential there for the mom and pops up to the 150 units. Right,
Totally
and like
agree.
you said, especially at this time.
Totally agree. Yeah.
Jim, if
Yes.
I may, I live an hour north of Austin. I live in Central Texas. So if I can be of any assistance to anyone who might be pursuing a deal, please let me know. I'm doing real estate full time now. But also I just want to throw it out there that, being an hour north, I see the gentrification happening. And I can tell you a lot of the investors who were in Austin, because obviously there's a lot of California money coming in. It's the cheapest city in California, as that's its nickname. But a lot of investors are starting to move north, and I see the growth happening every time I go down towards Austin. So Georgetown, I don't know if that's on y'all's radar, but it's like maybe a half hour from there. Huge, growing, booming town. Going up into Temple, and Waco's not terribly far. Killeen, Texas is a really hot market as well. So I just would encourage y'all to kind of explore the area a little bit.
Yeah, northern Austin is like where majority of the jobs are too, right? Especially like the corporate companies and stuff. Yeah. So yeah, like core Austin, I know like there's other challenges with regulations and the Austin City Hall, etc. So yeah, that's kind of where I've been looking, is just like outskirts of the city as well, where it might be a little bit easier to break in.
For sure. I can say that a lot of people do choose to commute from like Georgetown and Round Rock area. I mean, because it's not awfully far away. So.
Right. Yep.
Okay, great. So
Yeah,
let's get through the introduction so that we don't miss anyone. Jeff, could you unmute yourself and introduce where you're from and what you're working on?
How you doing? I'm Jeffrey Hayes. I'm from Chicago. I do a couple fix and flips. I got a couple holes. I did a couple wholesale deals. Now I got a contract on an 8 unit in Chicago that I'm looking to. I guess this will be my first bigger unit. The most I ever did was like 2 flats. I did a lot of 2 flats. And now I'm kind of trying to transition to the multi-unit. So, you know, just been educating myself over the last 2 years. And, you know, I know y'all say sometimes, okay, start small to understand the game. So, you know, I kind of feel this is something I could tackle, a nice little 8 unit. I know I sent you the picture, Jim and Brian, you know, so like I say, anything I could be a help with, you know, being in Chicago, you know, if you need me, I'm here, you know, so, you know, just trying to stay educated and trying to go bigger. I just say go big or go home.
There you go.
I wanted to ask you, I sent you some contacts for like an insurance broker as well as a mortgage broker. Did you reach out to them?
No, I'm going to reach out to them tomorrow though. Because I appreciate that too. So I kind of had a busy week this week. So I'm truly reaching out to everybody you sent me for Monday.
Jeff, is there anything that you need to help get that deal across the line?
Well, I guess they kind of still getting the title. I guess it come through a estate sale, so they still getting the titles together. So I'm more in a situation is like I kind of it's like I kind of need funding, but I kind of don't. But I'm more like, okay, I'm trying to close the deal so I could get my credit back straight. So like you say, hopefully I could get somebody to help me fund my deal and I could do the rehab with it.
Okay.
Because I feel like I only need like maybe I kind of want to put 10K in every unit, like update the kitchens, bathrooms, little more smaller stuff like that. So I just feel like 10K in every unit. I think it should work for me that way.
Okay, Brian, did you recommend that he reach out to someone at CIC?
Sorry, I had my phone on mute. I didn't, only because I was trying to see where they went with Kevin, because I actually gave him Kevin's information, but I also wanted to help him underwrite that deal as well to see if is he actually getting what he's paying for, getting the deal on that deal. So, but yeah, I was planning to do all of that once we had gotten into the details of everything first.
Well, remember that when you're working these types of deals, you can't afford to wait for any one piece. So it doesn't go linear. Everything happens pretty much at the same time. So, you know, work on, as we've talked about before, work on the underwriting, work on the credit, work on the PFS, work on contacting property managers, do everything. You know, you start your due diligence. So Jeff, is that an empty building or is it an occupied building?
I think I haven't been in there since over about 9 months, but I kind of think I'm thinking it's occupied, but I don't even know if they paying rent.
Okay. Well, the sooner you can get, you know, your crew out there for looking at all of the major systems, you can start doing due diligence, you know, up front. If you wait for your due diligence period, sometimes you get crunched, you know, so just try to keep all your oars in the water all the time. Be working on all of the different aspects of it. And Jessica Sivils over at CIC teaches property management. They have a course that's been running for probably 40 years. And so I would definitely reach out to her. She can also make additional introductions for you. But when it comes to managing Southside properties, she's going to have a lot of contacts and context. So I would definitely reach out to her. But also stay engaged. You know, if you find that you need something else or you want to talk to a few different banks, I'm trying to think. I've got a small list of some of the banks that do lend on the South Side. You know,
Okay.
for those types. But CIC would be the first place I would try to go. They're also a great place. They have properties for sale. You know, so if you get on their website and start looking and start calling into their office so they know who you are every day, bugging them. And Jalen, if you're interested in anything down there that's small, you know, use your contacts. I think that CIC and Sunshine are very well connected. So,
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, I was gonna, oh, go ahead. I was going to actually recommend a bank, Seaway Bank on 87th. They lend to multifamily properties.
Okay, but after Dan Ryan.
Yeah, right. They're a chain of banks, but yeah, the one off the Dan Ryan. I know a guy that actually got a loan from them.
Okay, I appreciate that too. And
And
Jim, when you get time, send me over your list too.
Okay, Jeff, I will. And if you start knocking these down, Jeff, try to keep them as close to, if you have the opportunity. So if there's 2 or 3 on that block, I would encourage you to try to keep them together, because when you get ready to flip them or to sell them, if you package them together and get the loan value up to $1 million or more, then you open up a whole new class of debt. Okay.
Okay.
And a lot more people would look at it because of non-recourse debt. Okay.
Okay. Appreciate that.
Jalen, let's let you go next if you want to unmute yourself and introduce yourself, where you're from and what you got going on.
For sure. Yeah, so I'll just make this short and simple as possible. But my name is Jalen, and right now I'm working on acquiring my first multifamily rental property in the Elgin market, the northwestern suburban Illinois. And right now, I actually got a couple showings scheduled later today just to go analyze these multifamily properties that this seller has for sale, and he's selling like a portfolio, and I'm really intrigued by it. And right now I'm primarily focused on building my team, and also have with the heavy focus on building relationship with capital, because I believe, in the next 6 to 8 months, we're going to see one of the greatest opportunities in real estate in regards to pre-foreclosures, foreclosure, short sales and such. So right now, just trying to gather that team together before that 6 to 8 month comes, so we're fully prepared for those opportunities. And also trying to build those relationships with community banks that would hold those type of properties that would be in those type of situations. And right now, I mean, I just come to this, I come to this meetup just to build my network with like-minded individuals and see how I could provide value to, people like you. And yeah, I hope to make some new friends today, and go Bears.
Go Bears.
I had a question. More so, how do you, from my understanding, wouldn't it be best to evaluate a portfolio of properties by underwriting each property in the portfolio, or do you underwrite the entire portfolio?
Yeah, so I actually got the P&L statements and the Form 8825 from the realtor that's had the property listed. So I'm analyzing each property one by one just to see what's the nitty gritty with all that. So yeah, I think that's the most valuable way in terms of analyzing a portfolio. Especially it's only a portfolio of 4 units. So I mean, it wouldn't be that tough to do.
Okay, did I miss anyone? Ryan, did you want to reintroduce yourself?
Yeah, I'll just go quick. Thanks for hosting this, Jim. Nice to meet everyone. I'm from Western North Carolina. Where I can add value is boots on the ground, touring properties, driving comps, meeting with brokers, property managers, local contractors. What I'm looking for is partners or key principals, sponsors for loan requirements of net worth and liquidity between 2 and 14 million. Looking for properties 50 to 200 units. My markets are, two primary markets are Greenville, South Carolina, and Greensboro, North Carolina. And highly encourage everyone to keep networking with Zoom. Jim and I met through Zoom a couple of weeks ago through Brian Briscoe. He's got a Friday lunch networking event. There's some others for Old Capital that have, I think Julie's got one on Tuesday night. So there's a lot of great people that network. You know, COVID's not a nice thing, but sort of the unintended consequences, you get to meet some big players in the game that when you can't meet face-to-face or at conferences, they're on Zoom, just like Jim. So this is a great networking opportunity. Thanks for having me, Jim.
No, thank you for being here. We kind of went dark for several months in COVID because we were afraid of the technology, but the more meetups we got on with you guys, you know, we decided that we couldn't wait any longer. We had to get back in the game. So hopefully we'll get this growing. Right now, I've still got it set up for once a month, the last Sunday of every month. I'll keep sending out invites, and if it starts to get traction and we get enough people, then we might decide to go, you know, weekly or at least a couple of times a month. But either way, we've got, I think next month, if you guys, you may or may not know David Perry. He's a Marine that has been investing for several years now, and I think owns several, I think he's got several thousand units now, but he stated on LinkedIn that he would like to present. So we'll probably try to set him up next month. So if anybody's interested in meeting him or getting to know his story, where he comes from, how he got to where he is, I would encourage everybody to come back for that next month. And just real quick, show of hands or pipe up, doesn't matter. Did everyone find out today, first, did you come to the meetup from LinkedIn? Yes or no? Today, LinkedIn? Okay. The meetup app? Okay. All right. Cool. All right. Just wondering, just curious. So, all right. Anything anybody else has that they're working on or wants to talk about or questions?
So I can ask a question. I don't like. So I'm working on back end stuff right now with my website and capital raising. Do you have a recommendation on tools? Because so far what I've sorted out is utilizing like ActiveCampaign as the CRM and data collection point, integrating that into the website. Love to get your input to see how you're managing that side.
Yeah, well, I can tell you from mistakes. My best lessons are all the mistakes I've made, and
that's
so
why I'm here to learn from them.
Yeah, the fact that you're doing that early on was my biggest mistake. You know, I just didn't have enough to warrant all the cost of all the things that you have going in, whether it be the website development or whether it be ActiveCampaign or your CRM. There's just so many pieces of technology that you can utilize to help you build this. And if you're going to stay at it, it's going to very quickly become overwhelming. So the sooner you start doing those things and implementing those pieces of technology, just as long as you stick with it so that it becomes valuable, then it is well worth everything that you pay for it and will help immensely. Just the missed opportunities you have because you didn't follow up on a phone call because you didn't have it in your CRM, what is that worth? Did that person, would they have potentially invested $50,000 in your deal, $100,000 in your deal, or signed as a KP on your deal with a couple of $1 million worth of net worth? So Yeah.
Yeah, I would say for me, like to Jalen's point, like I am a firm believer that the next back half of next year is when we're going to start seeing a lot of opportunities come up, because there's a lot of people, even right now, like I'm shocked, is during COVID, they still think everything is fine and they're still overpaying by millions. They're overpaying by millions versus what the properties are worth. Right. So that's where I want to be ready by back half of next year to hit the ground running, you know, have my investor base. And I've kind of like the website I'm doing myself, or, you know, not really didn't know anything about it. I'm just trying to work on it. And that way, at least, even if I get someone else to do it in the future, I know what goes behind it. But it hasn't been as hard as I thought it would be.
Which platform are you using, Hamad?
So I'm using WordPress.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I got the
Another
Elementor
piece that frightens me.
plugin. Yeah, so I've gotten some builders within WordPress to work on the website. So it's just not overly difficult. You just get a couple of templates and work off those. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, so my question again was like, are there any specific tools that you've used that you think would be good to implement into that?
Well, I have used ActiveCampaign. I've used MailChimp and several others for drip campaigns and for staying in touch and in front of people when I have a deal, or just trying to, you know, stay in touch with them. But I think ActiveCampaign is top of class. MailChimp is right there. But I would also say that to some of that depends on, are you heavily integrated with Google, or are you more of a Microsoft guy?
So I decided to go with the Google Suite.
Okay. There is a gentleman that has a program called GMass that I like a lot. It's not very well known, but it's growing rapidly. And his one of the downsides to MailChimp and ActiveCampaign and the other similar programs, if you start having too many things bounce or too many participants opt out, then they will lock your account down, and it can be a problem. So very early on, make sure you've got an opt-out right away. And I would start my campaign from the very beginning, letting everybody know that, hey, this is what I'm doing, and this is what I'm going to be offering, whether it's, you know, some education, or whether you're going to have a landing page to give away a book, or, you know, whatever it is you're doing, you know. But early on, start building the list before you need to start asking for money, so that you don't have too many of them bounced out.
Yeah, so my goal is not to ask for money at all. So it's going to be utilizing LinkedIn. You know, I've been in the corporate world for the last 15 years. I feel like I have some good contacts there that would potentially invest with deep pockets, because they're CEOs and whatnot, making over like $500,000, and then some doctors, etc. So I've just been trying to build up the network on LinkedIn, and then I'm just gonna kind of start contacting them once I can change my profile to show that I'm doing this stuff. So yeah, just reach out to them, say, you know, here's what I'm working on, here's what I have. I'm working on a few lead magnets as well. So I'm just gonna say, you know, go, here's my website, go check it out. Once they get the landing page, they can decide to provide their information if they want the lead magnet, and then that's how I would progress it further. So I also have a question with that. I'm kind of then, I mean, putting content on LinkedIn or Facebook, etc., is one thing, but once I have their contact information, like, how should I be networking with them or being top of mind with them over time? In terms, like, how often should I be sending them emails? Should I be sending them, or just once in a while saying, like, here's a deal that I, you know, thought of underwrote, or like, what does the communication look like to those potential investors? Because for me, like, I'm going to start in January to start reaching out to them, because I'm working on the back end stuff now. but I'm not expecting something to come up till mid-year or later. So
Mhm.
I don't want to talk to somebody in January and then have them be cold by mid-year or later, right?
So the answer to that is going to depend a lot on how well you know them. If it's basically a brand new cold contact, or if it's someone that you've worked with, or someone that you've met through these networking events, or somebody that's a family member, or
Yeah, it's the cold ones that I'm kind
yeah.
of.
So I think that especially for new people that you've never known before, um, just telling them if you can build out a bio that you can share with people, and then just start a drip campaign that is a get to know me and follow my journey seems to be a really popular that I think is very, very effective. So for instance, if you decide you're going to use Michael's underwriting spreadsheet or your own, then you might want to say, okay, here's how I've decided to use this spreadsheet. And I'm going to walk you through me learning how to use it. And as you figure things out, share with people, because a lot of people are very, very intimidated by the underwriting and are very intimidated by Excel. And if you decide to build out your own, then that would be just a phenomenal YouTube series. I mean, you could make 20, 30 videos literally just on that one piece of real estate. Just building out a model, how to use it, and then start sharing it. You can blank out, say, this is how I'm going to use this underwriting tool to look for this kind of property, and we want it to meet these kind of parameters. So I'm going to share some of these with you. Nobody's doing this, by the way, Ahmad. So I think you would get a tremendous amount of traction if you did it. So upload your underwriting, just black out, the name of the property.
Yeah.
And, if you wanted to, you can say what city it's in, and that it's a C-class property, and that it's, you don't even have to say exactly how many units, that it was between 50 and 70 units,
Right.
or between 25 and 50 units, or 75 to 100. And this is what the underwriting looked like, and this is why we decided not to move forward on this particular deal.
Right.
And then you might have one where you do the 10-minute underwriting, just to decide if you want to look at it any further. Say, this is why we decided not to pursue this deal. And so in the beginning, when you don't have a lot of content, that can be extremely valuable content for a channel, whether it's a YouTube channel, whether it's just something that you do, longhand, long post on LinkedIn. But I think those things would be extremely valuable.
Yeah, so that's kind of what I had in my mind, because I saw there's a gap on, the actual process. People kind of talk about the global at the global level about the process, but no one ever gets into the detail on what they're doing. So that was part of the plan, is maybe have a YouTube channel or something where I would go through, like if I'm walking a property or something like that, I would just do a quick video of it, just explaining what I'm doing, what I'm looking for, etc.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I had in mind as well. It's just do you think that's enough in terms of reaching out, like contacting those investors specifically through email, etc.? So.
Yeah, I think that your journey and where you are in that journey, every week is a new story, right? So you could send out literally on a drip campaign something to somebody every week, almost every day, if you wanted to. I mean, if you wanted to create content, you can create content daily. It's not that hard, and you don't have to be original. I'll give you another example. If you want to build out a YouTube channel and you're afraid you just don't have enough time, and you don't want to launch it until you've got, a certain amount of hours under your belt, or a certain number of videos under your belt, I would encourage you to ask other people. So for instance, Jeff has a couple of backhoes, and he's out there working hard and running a crew and doing some flips, upload a video. It helps both of you. Put his video on your channel. Hey, this is a guy who's, doing flips in Chicago with a small multifamily, and
Right.
we'll walk you through what his day looks like. And that gives both of you an opportunity to get your name in front of investors and start networking with a larger crowd. So, and then Jeff, if you had a YouTube channel, same thing. Hamad did a video on underwriting and how he built out his model, share it on your channel. And then Jalen, if you've got something that, that you're starting, maybe you've got some investors that have come through your channel and looking to start, start in the business, and how you decide on how you're going to help them, whether it's through wholesaling or whether it's through getting them into some single family residences just to get their feet wet, whatever it is, but if you're brave enough to get in front of the camera and do a quick YouTube, no matter what it's about, even if it's just a rant, share with each other, so you have content. And it adds a lot of variety to your channel also.
Yeah, I'll say, so I was very hesitant to do this. I did a video for my website of myself, just kind of doing a property tour of the apartment complex that I live in, actually. And that was like one of my coaches, he recommended that to me, because originally I was just going to kind of do the typical, here's a multifamily picture on your website, etc.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of what we came up with, is just do a video of yourself, so it's more personal and people like it more. And that was I had a proper photographer do a video and stuff like that, but that I would say that was very awkward for me at first, but then as we were doing it, it got very comfortable. So I think to your point, once you start doing it, it's more of a mindset thing than anything else.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, anytime you do a property tour, whether you use the video or not, I would try to get in the habit of videoing as much of the property tour, and specifically what you're looking for, even if it's only a record for you, but it can become an educational video somewhere along the line that you can use. And by the way, if you're going Google, your CRM, I would encourage you to look at ProsperWorks, because ProsperWorks, it integrates very seamlessly with Google, and it's actually the CRM that Google uses themselves.
Oh, cool. That's perfect, because I hadn't even heard of them before.
Yeah. And if anybody else has any software integrations or systems that they're using, please speak up for Hamad right now, because I'm quite honestly drawing a blank. I have several of them myself, but they're just not coming to the top of mind.
Asana is very good for the repetitive tasks. If you want to follow up with brokers, property managers, other investors, and set 2-week reminders, 3-month reminders, 6-month reminders, Asana is very good keeping track, keeping record, keeping notes, those types of things. So that has been very helpful. Just organizing the repetitive tasks that are important, kind of systematizing things so that you don't overlook a follow-up with a call or a follow-up with an investor. So Asana, ASANA.com. I'll post that in the chat.
Is Asana a project management software? It's not a CRM, is it?
No, not a CRM. You can tailor it to. So yes, Asana is more of a project management. So if you have different, actually, it kind of relate more towards your maybe Jeffrey's case, and everything kind of going in sync. Your underwriting, your due diligence, your personal financial statement, those types of things, getting those all collaborative effort. But I have heard of some other guys that just kind of have a particular task, just doing the repetitive follow-ups with brokers and those types of things. So good for kind of a system maybe not specifically for Hamad, but in general, it's a great software program.
Would your CRM tools cover some of that though? Especially with like follow-ups and whatnot? Like the Prosper work that you mentioned, Jim, would that be covered in there or?
Yeah, for the follow-up and for following up, yeah, the ProsperWorks would do all that. I've not used Asana. I've not even looked at it, but I do know a lot of people that do use it. And there's a lot of crossover between these programs. So a project management software as opposed to a CRM. I don't know if there's any cost efficiencies, choosing one over the other. But if Asana has the ability to integrate, I don't know how it moves things through completion. And I would probably want to defer, Ryan, to you if you're already using it. Are you using that and a CRM, or are you using it in place of a CRM?
In collaboration with the CRM as well.
Okay, which one are you using?
Right now, I just kind of have an Excel. I just have an Excel template with a bunch of columns, so not a system integration yet with CRM.
Yeah, I would definitely try the free trial on all of them and see. I know Monday, I think, is a competitor to Asana, and I'm not sure who else is in that space.
Airtable is.
Okay.
Airtables are great for deal flow. We've got a virtual assistant in the Philippines, and they input all our data for deal flow for properties coming out of brokers. So that's a great use for deal flow if you get into that.
So Ryan,
yeah, I got recommended that.
You've already engaged with VAs, Ryan?
Yeah, just a few of us have put together to get a 40-hour, and she kind of does 20 hours for one, 2 hours a day for this and that. She puts together rent rolls and breaks down T12s and puts them into the underwriting template, and then passes them along to us, and we kind of do more of the fine-tuning stuff. But that's been very helpful. Training her, takes a while, but once she kind of gets up and running and knows how to look through the OMs and the T12s and sort all that, she's been very helpful, taking a lot of load of the repetitive tasks. So highly recommend. It's a very slow start, but once you get into it, it's worth every penny. I think we pay her $4 an hour, so it's very cost effective.
For the hiring,
go ahead.
Go ahead. I was just wondering, for the hiring process, were there specific, what did you look for? Was there a certain experience that you were looking for? And what was it, like Fiverr, or what did you utilize to find the VA?
We got my business colleague. He went through Adam Adams and kind of had a personal contact there. But I've watched a couple videos from Neil Bawa, and he goes on Upwork, and he lets out a whole different bunch of different data points on that, how to filter everybody, and then also to make a Google Docs where they fill out an application and also put a 3-minute video in there, take a screenshot of their internet speed so they've got a quality connection. So if I could find that, I'll post that link. I don't have it off the top of my head, but that was very helpful filtering, just making sure they've got 30 different jobs and 10,000 hours billed and all that. So he's got a great system there for that.
Yeah, I saw a webinar for Neil Bob, but that one was, I think he's starting to do his own VAs now through him.
Oh, okay. Oh, he may be. He's going big, going fast. He may be doing that.
Yeah.
So if everyone's not aware that Neil has a lot of free training resources on his website, and how to hire VAs is one of his most popular downloaded videos. And you can see he's done several podcasts about that, but if you watch the video that's on his website, he actually spends almost an hour breaking down exactly the process that he uses to filter out and the hiring process in everything that he does. So I would highly recommend it. It's one of the best.
Yeah, I'll look it up. For some reason, I've gone to his site many times to utilize quite a few resources. I haven't seen that, so I'll look for it again. That's good. Thank you.
If you don't see it right away, Hamad, let me know. I actually, I might even have a copy. So
Okay,
let me
perfect.
know if you need anything.
Okay, I'll look it up now, actually.
Okay, cool. Okay, anybody else got anything they want to cover or ask?
Well, I have a recommendation. So I've heard people use virtualassistants.com, and if you go on their website, they have a free first-timers guide on hiring a virtual assistant. I don't know if it's detailed than Neil Bawa's. I haven't looked at his, but I'm interested in looking at what he has to offer. And also virtualstaff.ph is also another source that people use to hire virtual assistants from the Philippines.
And Jim, to change the topic back a little bit to something you mentioned earlier, I was curious, you said something about getting over $1 million in debt and getting into a different class of debt. I was wondering if you could just kind of fill that in a little bit.
You're on mute, Joan. You're on mute. You're on mute.
Excuse me, I've got someone here who's trying to get into the room, so. Taylor, was that you asking the question?
No, that was Chuck.
Oh, Chuck, okay, sorry, Chuck. Yeah, so agency debt, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, or Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae do probably 80% of all of the loans and lending for apartment buildings. And so their cutoff is, for their small balance program, is $1 million. So you can potentially get a deal done that's slightly under $1 million, but it's difficult. So generally speaking, you need to have at least $1 million or more, and that's the financed amount. Okay, so if you're looking at 70% down or 70% LTV, then keep that in mind. But if you do that, then you can get what's called help me out here, guys. I'm having a
non-recourse.
Non-recourse, and thank you. Non-recourse loan, which means that you're not personally responsible for it. They loan primarily to LLCs and other corporate entities. Does that answer your question, Chuck?
Yes, that is helpful. Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else?
I just want to add one thing to, I think Ryan mentioned Adam Adams. I just remembered he's doing Raising Money Summit October 1st to the 4th. And I haven't been to it before or anything, but I would recommend it. It seemed very much in line with what I was asking about in capital raising, etc. So the agenda looked really good anyways.
Yeah, if you've not had any experience doing it and you think that, you want to figure it out, it's a great networking event. You'll find a lot of other people in the space that are trying to raise capital and trying to figure out how to raise capital at the event. But there's also some real good books that have been written about raising capital, and from guys that have already done it. But what you're doing right now is a key part of how everybody raises capital. It's always just networking, networking, networking. So Brian, were you able to find those websites that you could put them in the chat? Or are you not at a computer?
I'm at a computer now. I'm writing them down now.
Okay.
And Jim, just to throw a quick note in here, if people aren't familiar, to save this chat and the information and the links rather than trying to write it down, in the lower right corner, there's 3 little dots. If you hover over it, it says more, and you can save the chat and then open the folder and it'll save it somewhere on your local machine. So that way you have access to this in the future, the links and contact information.
Should have had this chat like ages ago.
Yeah, I don't know if it's exactly the same on a Mac, but that's definitely true of Windows. It's in the lower right-hand corner, the 3 dots. Just a little caveat to that is make sure that you get it before your host ends the meeting. If you don't actually save it to a folder before he ends the meeting, then you lose it. And so if you're right at the very end and you're about to do it and he's ending, just speak up real quick and say, please hold up a second while I save my chat. So any other pro tips there, Ryan or Hamad, from all the different meetups you've been on?
No, I think to your point, just network. You know, I've gone to yours meetup now through another meetup, and just met newer people and different people doing different things. So network as much as possible because information is gold. And also your network is your net worth. You hear that a lot. And when I first started, I didn't really understand it as much, but I'm really getting it now. It's who you know is what you can do with it in the future. So.
Yeah. Okay, guys, it's been over an hour, so I want to thank everyone for chiming in today and logging on. I really do appreciate it. I hope to see everyone next month, and feel free if you need to contact me. The information is in the chat, but I'm pretty easy to find on LinkedIn or Facebook also. And if you're not part of the Meetups Facebook group page, the GOB network on Facebook groups, I would encourage you to go out there and join up. So, all right, thanks guys. Look forward to seeing you on the interwebs.
Take care.
Thanks.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
All right. Thanks. Have a good Sunday, everyone.
You too.
Yeah.